Hello and welcome to the channel. Great to be here, guys. Thank you so very much for joining me on the live stream and all those in the chat. Really appreciate it. We've got some interesting activity today on the charts. We're going to be taking a look, obviously, at our precious metals first. We start off always as usual. We start off with silver, so we will be taking a look at silver. You'll notice the arrows. I've left the arrows there from the previous video, so we can see exactly where silver has performed in relation to the last video. So again, thank you for taking the time. If you're watching this after the fact, please let me know your comments. Please hit the like button as well. Really appreciate it. And share and comments as well. Anyone interested in becoming a donator, please check the description for more information. You'll see there's a list there. And there's the next giveaway is at 10 donations. We're currently at 8 at the moment, so 2 more spots available before the next giveaway. And we'll also do a chat giveaway as well. And there's also subscriber appreciation coming up soon, so make sure you don't miss that. Please make sure you comment on the videos in order to be entered into that draw. Right, so I'm going to take a look here. We can see the chart there on the silver chart. We've got our arrows pointing here. So I've made these markers from the last one because that was effectively our resistance zone. So we can clearly see silver today is done fairly well, guys. We're up about 22 cents currently, which is fantastic. The only downside we have at the moment is that we're actually hitting this resistance area, which isn't that far off from where this arrow is. We can see it there. It's just below there. So the problem I have with that is that it's used. There's been a significant amount of energy that's pushed it up to this level at the moment, but it's finding it difficult to get above that level. And what's more interesting is we've got this red line here, which is the 100 EMA line, which is acting like a good resistance zone. And then, of course, we've also got our descending resistance zone that's here. So it's almost like a double whammy in regards to, silver needing just that little bit more in order to gain momentum. Thank you. We've got 2 watching. Really appreciate it, guys. Let me know in the chat there if there's any feedback you may have. So silver's, it's been hovering around the 17 area for some time now. It's up 22 cents. So on the day, that is pretty awesome. It started... well, the low was 1682. It's managed to push up higher, which is great. So 1.2% higher, which is great. However, we just need to be a bit more careful, because if we can't get through this resistance line, in most circumstances, more than likely what we can expect is we will see a rejection from that line there. So where would the rejection go to if we do not have enough momentum in order to break through these 2 resistance lines? So first of all, we've got the 100 EMA line, and then we've also got our descending resistance line as well. So it's going to need quite a significant amount of buying pressure to get ourselves through that level. So if we see rejection, more than likely we'll see ourselves fall back down to about this level here. Looking at where our current support is, you can clearly see there where these wicks are. The next support level would be at 1681. Of course, it may not necessarily go that low. It could also go down to 1690, between 1690 and 1693, 94, somewhere around there first. If it doesn't, more than likely it could head down to this level here, which is the 1665, which is exactly where we ended up over here. You can see there, I've set that arrow from the previous video as well, showing where the low was. Obviously, we've had a bit of an increase in volume here, so we were able to break out of the 100. However, there wasn't sufficient buying pressure to maintain it, so we've ended up breaking down, which is exactly what's happened here. Whatever goes up must come down. So we broke down below it, even though there was enough buying pressure there about 2 days ago. However, there was stiff rejection there, and of course we finished below the 100 EMA line, and that was on Friday, which I'd mentioned to you. So it all depends on if we were on Friday's video, if we finished below that line, more than likely we were going to retrace further to the downside. However, there's been good buying momentum today, so we've seen a good 20-cent increase, which is great. I don't see any comments coming through there, so I'm just going to check this out. Give me 1 minute there. Interesting, I don't see any comments at the moment, so let me have a look here. Had an issue with the StreamYard the last time. Wasn't any comments, but let's have a look. No, there isn't any comments, exactly. So we'll leave that running. Again, thank you very much for listening. It's great to have you here. Right, so that's what we could expect in regards to silver at the minute. Because of where we are here, we could see a rejection line happen, and we could see a fall. So anything between 1690, possibly down to 1665, would pretty much be that good support area there. So if we were to retrace. On the other hand, if we were able to push up a bit more to the upside and create a support structure over here, we're either going to trade sideways, or we could see a retest of this level here. That's about the 1717, 1720 level. However, we could see rejection, and we could end up seeing ourselves back down to about the $17 level from that level there. So again, if you look where we've come from, we've seen good buying momentum, but it looks like the volume has slowly petered off. So just take note of that. If you look at the buying momentum here, it's been fairly good. We've had the massive decline. There hasn't been that same return volume. So for me, that could spell danger. So we could well see, in more likelihood, we could see a drop in the price of silver, currently closest to the 1650 mark. So just take note of that, guys. This is our danger zone right here. If we can't break up above that level and there is stiff rejection, we're more than likely going to be headed down and then build up. Look for a decent support level, which has been this 1665 area, and then attempt to break out again. Let's look at silver on the 4 hour. Looking at silver on the 4 hour, we can pretty much see that is there's support there. We've had a small breakout. However, we've maintained it. We're now creating a base level support line that we can see here. It is a small one currently at the minute. However, there has been some steep buying. So the 4 hour looks really good, guys. We've had consistent breakthroughs from these previous resistance zones. So we've broken through our 20, we've broken through our 50, and we've broken through our ascending resistance line too. So that is extremely good. The daily, it feels kind of mixed to me. So we could see ourselves build up some momentum here. Looking at the 4 hour chart, if we can, that would be awesome. We can definitely see the resistance zone that it's at the moment is pretty incredible. Like I've said in previous videos, there's always been heavy resistance in those areas. Stephen Heath, man, how you doing? Stephen Heath is here. It says, Mr. Silverlimey79, how the devil are you, young man? I'm very well, and yourself? I don't seem to be getting any messages coming through here, so I've got my phone running next to me, which is interesting because obviously this StreamYard is supposed to kick through the messages. And we got Aussie Alchemist says, good day, SL79. How you doing, Aussie? It's good to see you. Some interesting moments there. If we look at the 4 hour for silver, it looks pretty impressive, guys. I think you can all agree on that. We've seen some good buying momentum here, and don't forget, each of those candles is a 4 hour candle. So that was 8 hours ago, 12 hours ago, 16 hours ago, 20 hours ago. So not looking too bad. However, I've said previously, we're in a good area of resistance here. So if we get rejected, more than likely we could see ourselves either go back down to this level, which is what I said earlier about the $17 level. If it's a heavy breakdown, then we could see it fall down to about, so break that 17. Then we are going to see levels at 1692 and 1680, and then eventually all the way back down here, depending on how heavy a drop that we can expect. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Stephen Heath says, now I'm here, the floodgates of the fans will turn up. Thanks, Stephen. Yeah, it takes a while. Normally, as I've started to get about halfway through, I know a fair amount of viewers are at work, so this is the time that I have. You guys are more than welcome to review this later on. It's always an absolute pleasure anyway. Did you see that the Una and the Lion release, Stephen, from the Royal Mint? Man, it looks fantastic. I've actually bought one. I decided I was going to go ahead with it, and I pulled the trigger on it, man. So yeah, super happy about that. Right, so there we go. That is that's on the daily there. So that is our problem area right there. So we'll have to see how that if that completely gets rejected at this resistance line. More than likely, we're going to see a downward movement. And the movement of the hour is pretty much downward, with the exception of this. We've had a good level here that we're building off. The today's been exceptional because look at that, 22 cents up. Can't complain. Can't say much for the same for gold. So let's take a look at gold, everybody. Let's have a look. Gold, gold, gold. What is the color of gold, everybody? Right, let's have a look. There we go. Some messages just popped through now. It says, looks nice. Yeah, it certainly does, man. I know when I first saw it, it's one of being the, you know, those designs I've really liked, Stephen, the Una and the Lion. And you know, there's been various copies made. I wouldn't say copies, but I mean, British Virgin Islands brought out their own $1 piece, and I was like, yeah, it's not quite the same if it's not released by the Royal Mint. And then literally, I saw, was it Gramstacker's video, and immediately I just straight to the Royal Mint site, and there it was. And I was like, man, what am I going to do? You know, literally, I think the gold was 95% sold, or pre-sold, whatever you want to call it. And then I was like, man, what should I do? What should I do? I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to do something. And yeah, decided to pull the trigger on it. I think it was a good decision. It's 95% sold at the moment. That's the silver one. So there's probably not that much, not very many of them left. So, you know, I thought probably it's going to take a couple of days. Mudswat, how you doing? It's good to see you, Mudswat. Let's have a look. Aussie Alchemist says, watched, sorry. There we go. So watched Pusa Studios Copper Special. I am either changing to adults only or removing my channel. Not taking the, wow, 46K risk. That is something. Apparently, at least the way I understood it is if you declare your video as for kids, then it can't be searched or something like that. So you're better off just saying it's not for kids, really, I suppose, with this new YouTube stuff. So I'll be changing everything, and it won't be available for kids. I think that's probably the safest way to play it. Mudswat says, cool, the chart, man. Absolutely, Mudswat. How you doing, man? It's good to see you. Thumbs up. Hit the like button, please. I'm not sure how many likes I have at the minute, but see, I got 1 like and 7 watching. Guys, you know what to do. So do it. Let's have a look for gold. Gold currently priced at $1,461. Again, I think we all want to see a $1,500 gold again. Give it some time. I think it's, again, if you look at the volume here, we've had pretty consistent volume. However, since we've had this sort of sell-off here, it's sort of been lackluster. You can see the move up there, and then it was cancelled by the move back down. So we sort of, all this hard work had resulted into coming back to the same area. So we can see that there, and we can see that there. So that was about a week's worth of work, and we ended up exactly where we were a week ago. However, our resistance, let's have a look here. What is that over there? That is our resistance zone there, and that is our support zone, which is currently holding. So that's bottom end support there was at 1450. That could be extended to, let's say, 1445, thereabouts. Currently, what we have at the moment, we've got a major problem here for gold, because we've got our descending resistance line, which is over here. To me, it looks like there's not enough volume here at the moment. Generally, what happens when there's not a lot of volume in the market, more than likely we're going to see lower prices. It's a natural occurrence. Basically, whenever there's not enough volume, there's more than likely buying pressure, or the buying momentum is put under pressure. So what we could see here, we could see a complete reversal here. This rejection could stay. I mean, we've got another day here. Unfortunately for silver, it doesn't have that same luxury. So silver is right on the money. If you guys haven't checked out the silver analysis, just scroll back a few minutes there, you'll see it. Take a look. Let me know what you think there. RPM Limited, it's good to see you. Geez, here we go. We're up to about 8 now. Guys, don't forget to hit the like button. There we go. Aussie Alchemist says, made for kids, no monetization. I did not know that. Wow, okay, I'm not monetized anyway. Aussie, to me, monetization's been a complete joke. It really has. I think for me, it lasted about 2 weeks. Hello everyone. Hey SL79, what's been happening? Yeah, not too bad, man. I tell you what, I've been seeing all the videos there about the reverse proof, and man, it's impossible to get one. So I ended up buying the Pride of Two Nations set, because that seemed like the only set that I could get that enhanced reverse proof. It's the one with the W mint mark, and it's going for some pretty good money. So I thought, well, that's probably a decent alternative. I mean, the one I got, it was the last one, and there were 72 people watching that set, and I thought someone's going to be buying it. If I don't buy it, someone else will. And I got it at a good price, actually. I paid was it $150 for it, which obviously when they were launched they were $140, which I didn't think was that bad. So considering the launch price, $10 more, I think I did fairly well there. So that's in the post. I don't know very many kids investing in gold. Yeah, that's a very good point, Mudswat. Not many for kids. Monetization, but if you're a 12-year-old, find something entertaining on your content. Bam, 42K fine for mislabeling video. Wow, jeez. Okay, that's interesting. Thanks, Ozzy. Jeez, that's some. I need to check that out, man. Jeez. Wow. It's like you might as well stop making videos then, if that's everyone's attitude. Let's have a look. Be right back. Got to find charger. Yeah, you better get that thing charged, man. That's why it's not that simple, Aussie Alchemist. There you go. RPM Limited says, I was 17 when I bought my first real valuable gold. It was a solid 24 karat gold bracelet. I lost it going to weigh it in, because the luck in my life. You can see my luck on the Bitcoin charts when I got in July. Yep. And we've just seen a full reversal of that. Interesting. It's basically lost 50% of its value from its high of 14. Interesting market. Jody's here. Hey Jody, how you doing? It's good to see you guys again. Thank you very much for watching this video or live stream. If anyone's interested in becoming a donator to the channel, please check the description for information or details. We got 2 more spots left for the next giveaway, so I'm gonna put, as usual, I'll do something really juicy. Multiple donations get an extra entry, so keep that in mind. Jody, I hope you're keeping well, man. What have you been up to? Right, so for gold, we might still have another day here before gold's going to have to make a decision in regards to if it's going to break up or break down. So currently at the moment, silver's not in that same boat. Should I say luxury at the moment? It's look, it's 1.3% up, which is good. It's currently at $17.09 for 1 ounce of silver. Gold price is $1,461 an ounce. We're currently in quite a heavy resistance zone currently at the minute. You can clearly see it there. Generally, whenever we look at resistance, we're looking at the previous support level, which was here, and previous support level then becomes new resistance. So as we can see here, we've got a very interesting line here. This is the 100 EMA line, and what do you know? It is exactly where this line is. So the 100-day moving average has become that solid resistance line. So that's what gold's having an issue with at the moment. So we'll have to wait and see what happens tomorrow. It could well break out. Personally, there's too much downward pressure on this metal at the moment, and there's not enough volume. I can't see the volume here currently at the moment, so I think we'll see continued resistance on gold, which will cause a bit of selling pressure. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Anyone know anything more about the trade deal with China? Is any more news on that? It'd be interesting to see if something could have an effect on it, because as we'll know, anything with regards to the trade deal has an effect on precious metals for sure. I think there's a bit of news there. Positive signals grow on US-China trade deal. Again, it could just all be I wouldn't say fake news, but it could just all be drive and momentum. That's about it. So we'll have to wait and see. Positive signals grow on US-China trade deal. We'll have to see how that performs. Right. Jody says, hi, mate. How's Sheffield? I've been buying heavily. There you go. Jody's been buying heavily. He's been buying the dip. RPM Limited says, I don't think Sheffield is as wet. It's been raining here pretty badly. Mudswat, lots of videos on YouTube that explains its depth. Coin Collector. Man, how you doing, Coin Collector? It's good to see you. Those arrows. Yeah, those arrows, my friend. That's my new tool. Right, so there we go. That's our resistance level there. We're going to put gold on the 4 hour. Let's take a look and see what is going on. By the way, all my NGC coins just arrived today back from NGC. So I will be doing a unboxing video of all the NGC results. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you don't miss that video. I'll be posting that in the coming days. So that is my unboxing video of all my NGC graded coins. So you don't want to miss that. That was about 10 coins that arrived today. So let's take a look here. Right, so this is on the 4 hour. Again, we've had some good upward momentum. The problem there is we've got resistance. It looks like we might just break above the 20. It looks like it. That's the 20, guys. This yellow line here, that's the 20 moving average. You can see it there. The 20 moving average is this box up here. $1,470 an ounce was the average of that line there. Currently at $1,461. So what we could see build up momentum to this line here, which is 1463. That is this resistance line as well as the 50 moving average. So if we're able to break out from this current position here, which looks likely to me based on the 4 hour here, we could see ourselves trading between these two lines. That's the 50, which is the orange, and the 20, which is the yellow line here. What that will mean is, like I was saying, tomorrow is probably the day where we're going to know if this is going to break out from this position or not. However, we are going to see strong resistance at this level. There's our support zone area is set in here, so I will leave these arrows as they are. We'll have to get it ready for the end of the week live stream. So we could see a retest at this area here. If there's enough momentum for it to get through, then more than likely we're going to see a big push up. It just depends on if we can break out from this level here, which is the 50 moving average line and this descending resistance line. Contractor says, sounds great. Any chance of a sneak peek? Not yet. I've got everything still boxed up, so I've got I'll be doing a separate video for that. But yeah, it's gonna be cool. Looking forward to. Let's have a look at this. So we're gonna go straight into platinum, guys. So before we do, have a look at this. So, yeah, this is by Politico. It says positive trade signals grow on US-China trade deal. A so-called phase 1 deal could be within striking distance. This was posted today. It says the United States and China are getting really close to striking a preliminary trade deal, a senior advisor to President Donald Trump said on Tuesday. We feel that deal is going to happen and we continue to work arduously towards that. A White House counselor, was it Kellyanne Conway, said on Fox News. What do you guys think of Fox News, guys? Let me know in the chat. What do you think of Fox News? The positive assessment of the trade talks adds to signals coming from both sides that a so-called phase 1 deal is within striking distance. So it's interesting. Something like this gets published, and we don't really see any potential movements on any precious metals. Yet it gets mentioned previously, guys, and we see a bit of a wobble in regards to the way precious metals reacted. So this time, again, another article comes out saying that there could be within a deal, and it's even mentioned by one of the White House correspondents. The U.S. Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer, Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin, and the Chinese Vice Premier Liu He discussed progress in the talks on a phone call on Monday. Chinese Ministry of Commerce said the two sides discussed how to resolve core concerns and reached a consensus on how to resolve related issues. According to an informal translation of an official readout of the call, Trump said the two sides were in a final throes of negotiating an agreement. It's going very well, but at the same time, we want it to go well in Hong Kong. I think it will. He told reporters at the White House on Tuesday. I think President Xi Jinping can make that happen, and I know him. I know he'd like to make it happen. The president's under pressure to sign a bill that threatens Hong Kong's special trade status if China infringes on the autonomy of the former British colony. That is now under Beijing control as a special administrative region. The legislation, which passed overwhelmingly in Congress, has angered Beijing, which has threatened to take countermeasures if it comes into law. Wow, interesting stuff. Still, China's state-run English-language tabloid Global Times said on Sunday the two sides are very close to a phase one trade deal. China remains committed to a second or third phase negotiations. That's where I'll leave it there, guys. And let me know if you want the... I'll just add this in the chat. I'd love to keep talking about that, but there's no point. There you go, if you guys want to check that out. There's the link to it. Trade deal is utter BS. I totally agree with you, Jody. I think it's all speculation, and that's exactly what's been hurting precious metals at the moment, is speculation as opposed to actual truth. The daily repo value is more than the yearly trade amounts in dollars. That says Jody. Mudswat says, hey, Alpine Limited, how are you? Right, let's get back to it, guys. So platinum has been an interesting metal lately because it's broken through the 900 level and has continued up higher. It's at $908 for an ounce of platinum. And like I said in the title, on the verge of a breakout, because we can clearly see it here. Now, what is interesting in regards to the momentum here for platinum is we could see a double breakout. It just depends on if that is going to happen or not. There we go. And that's what I'm talking about, this movement here, whereas we've had this candle all the way up here. It's effectively just over that resistance line. So it broke through pretty heavily. It's pulled back some. And the main reason being is, why has that pulled back, everybody? Well, that, as we can clearly see there, that's our resistance zone. So it hit resistance, it's gone back down. However, it hasn't sold off as much, which is good. So that means the buyers are in the market currently at the moment looking at platinum. So we're holding this line here, which is this ascending support line, which is great because we broke down below it and we've been fighting to get ourselves back up. Rejection all the way down again and a push up again. So it all depends on if there's enough momentum for us to actually push up above that level instead of just hitting that resistance line. And getting rejected yet again. So we'll have to keep a close eye on that. But I reckon the 4 hour on this move is probably going to look pretty good in my eyes. Forgive the big arrow. There we go. So we've had a massive sell-off there, and we've climbed ourselves back into this the support zone, being rejected heavily, rejection back down, and we've slowly been building support there. So that is platinum at $908 per ounce of platinum. There we go. And we can clearly see we've created a new support line, and that is right here. There's our new support line. We broke heavily down, and like I've always said to everybody, the moment we were into an oversold territory, in most cases, even if you check all the charts, we will catch up to that point. So gives you a good indication on when to buy is when we're in this zone here, because more than likely it's going to head back up, especially after a big drop. We're going to be oversold. The buyers come back in and push us back up into this level, and that is where you make your money, is in these areas here, buying at $884 and selling at $915. Again, it's not really a big margin, but if you're dealing with paper metals, then effectively your ETFs, that is where you're going to buy a stack load and sell them. Right, okay, so on the 4 hour, looking pretty good. We've broken all the way through all those resistance levels there. It just depends on if platinum has enough momentum to maintain this level. We could see another potential breakout at this level, which could mean that we could see however, looking at how small that is, we could get a gradual build up. However, we've got resistance here at 912, so that would be the next level for it to try and get above. it's quite messy because that's all resistance all the way up. Let's have a look. Jody says, anyone know how the US intends to clear $24 trillion worth of debt? I think it's not whether they'll. It's not whether they will clear it. They probably just won't do anything about it. Jody, they'll just ignore it. Simple as that. Let somebody else worry about it. Blended Whiskey says, just got back from lunch now. A glass of red Italian wine for now. Wow, you're living the dream, man. Blended. I'll say I'm all good, Mudswat, but I'm I'm having my worst day in ages. Everything's gone wrong, plus a couple of minor injuries to top it off, man. Giving it the Yorkshire smile. Geez, sorry to hear it, RPM. Hope you're feeling better there, my friend. You'll have days like that RPM. Hope it gets better. Absolutely, man. We can only wish for the best. Sorry, Sublime, you have to share this. The Oak must check this video out. May help you feel a little bit better. Love it. Thank you very much, Mudswat. Silver, the new gold. There he is. Excellent. Welcome. How you doing? Silver Junkie. I thought that was. I thought that was you. That is Silver Junkie. It says silver, the new gold. RPM Limited says, I know, Jody, but involves XRP. They're giving Russia and China more value than the debt. That's interesting, RPM. I know of the XRP price at the moment is not looking great, actually. I think it's about 21 cents. That's the lowest I've seen it since I started getting into crypto. So hopefully it's a buying opportunity for anyone looking at getting into XRP in particular. Is that at those levels, man, I'm waiting for lower lows. More than likely, if Bitcoin drops more, I'm going to be taking a look at Bitcoin in a moment. If Bitcoin drops more, the rest of the market will follow. I just see buying opportunities ahead. Silver Junkie, man, how are you? It's good to see you. Guys, don't forget to hit the like button. That would certainly appreciate it. There we go. There you go. In case you're you guys are not familiar with the like button, it looks like that. You'll see a thumbs up. Obviously, it'll look blue as opposed to yellow, but that's what it looks like. So in case you guys haven't seen that before, that's what it looks like. Highest daily volume with XRP this week. Well, I'm not surprised, Jody. It might be the highest daily volume, but what's it done to the price, man? Jody, it's done nothing to the price. It might be the highest daily volume, but there's obviously been significant selling involved. Right, let's move on, please. Platinum. So there we go. That's the platinum chart. Let's move on to Palladium. Palladium's had an interesting week, and we can clearly see it here. And that is this is our resistance line here. We can clearly see it, clear as day, because of this area here. Yeah, $1,809 an ounce for Palladium. You know what's interesting about Palladium? It just constantly gets smashed. It goes back down, and it always comes back up again. And that's how people are making money here, because this is our low point here after that sell-off. Check that out, guys. And this wasn't long ago. Look at that, 11th of November, everybody. Right, it was at $1,681. Today, it's at $1,809. So $1,681 an ounce for Palladium. That was on the 11th of November. Today, it's $1,809. So that's a good $130 profit if anyone had bought and sold Palladium. Pretty interesting. We can see it there. Nice move up. What I am expecting, though, this resistance level, I'm doubtful it's going to break through that. So what we could see is a fall back down to this level here, which is current support. That's the 1774. So if the Palladium can't get above this level, that is where it's headed, everybody. Right over here. We can clearly see it. There's resistance there. Old resistance then becomes new support. We can see it there. There's support there, supporting those levels, and there is resistance on the way up here. So to me, that looks like a good support structure for a Palladium to bounce off on. So if it fails to get higher than that, it's more than likely going to head down to this level here. So it'd be interesting to see if that does work out. I'll leave the arrows there. We'll certainly come and revisit Palladium on the next video. There's Palladium on the 4-hour. Again, looking pretty good. There's the 20. We know we've been in that level. We're now starting to get momentum back again. You can clearly see it touching the 20 for support. It's bounced off it. We've had a bounce over here as well, which we're trying to break down, straight back up again. So Palladium is looking very resilient, and it's looking very good. That's Palladium, everybody. Right, we're going to get into Bitcoin. So I'll check the chat in a moment there. Bitcoin. Right, since we've been chatting here, Bitcoin has been around the 7,080 mark. It still is today. So we're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin. Highest daily volume. There we go. Jody's having a good laugh. There we go. RPM says, I've hit like and donated, but forgot to redonate. Sorry. So hey, man, no problem at all. RPM. Always appreciate that, man. Always an absolute pleasure to have you here, my friend. Jody says, I think that's expensive. Take a look at rhodium. Yeah, unfortunately, there's no rhodium on the charts. I think rhodium's expensive, though, isn't it, Jody? There we go. Aussie's back. RPM Lewis says, they don't call XRP the standard for nothing, Jody. Level playing field. XRP already in place. What's the 2020? Mark my words. You missed owning 5 BTC. Don't miss holding 50,000 XRP. Well, you see, when you're holding a lot of XRP like that and you paid 40 cents for it and you see it at the early 20s, you've lost 50% of this value. That's the way I'd look at it. I would struggle a bit until I see the market start to go back up, sort of when I start to see a bit more positiveness. But we're going to be taking a look at that. Mudswat, when we're really not that far away from Bitcoin at 4,000, man. Interesting. I've seen a number of ideas out there currently looking at Bitcoin. Some are saying, and again, these are just people saying that they could see it at 1,000, and why they've justified that move to $1,000. We could see a $2,500 Bitcoin below the 3,100, which it was previously. Some are saying no, it won't go any below 6.5. It may not go below 6.55. We might see about 5.5. So no one really knows. I mean, that's the best I can take out of it. There's all these numbers everyone's thrown out, but no one really knows for sure where Bitcoin is going to end. I wouldn't say end, but where it's going to bottom out. So everyone's throwing these figures at 6.5 or 6 or 5.8 or 5.5 or 5 or 4, 3.5 or 2.5 or 2 or 1. That's because no one really knows how the market's going to move. So trust me, if Bitcoin goes down to $3,000, more than likely XRP is going to be going sub 2 digits, definitely. So I hope not, but we'll have to wait and see how that goes. I tell you what, I'm looking forward to getting back into that market, man. And to me, it's just it's a second opportunity to buy back in when we see the reversal of these prices, everybody. So I'm ready to rock and roll. Jody says 4,777 pounds for 1 ounce, and that's Jody. That's what says 6.5 grand BTC is okay too. Would you accumulate Mudswat if Bitcoin? Do you want to focus on $4,000? I mean, the way I'd look at it, the way I look at the charts is we're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin. I haven't looked yet. You can see the arrows are put in place there. That was from the previous live stream. So if you look at Friday's live stream, that's where I put them, which was interesting because we just had the one move. So we can clearly see it there, what's happened, where the fall is. Saturday, which is interesting because don't forget, Bitcoin trades 7 days a week. Precious metals only trade Monday to Friday. Jody says, hey Ozzy, sorry I missed loads of streams, but I'm busy working. RPM says XRP is testing where I bought in. I'm laughing unless we see a 3 cent, but then I'm stocking up more. There you go. It's the best way to play it, man. RPM, I'm with you, buddy. If I see it drop down to that price, I'm buying more. Simple as that. The guy knows. This guy knows, says Mudswat. How you doing there, Mudswat? Not investment advice. That is Mudswat. I think I'll buy some if it hits 6.5K. There you go. Bitcoin is still a complete punt. Could be killed in minutes within a change in the US law. So could precious metals. I wouldn't say it, you know, they could bring out a law prohibiting precious metal ownership, because if you think about it, guys, and I mean this, is that if Russia and China continue to threaten the US dollar currency with them buying more gold, the US might just turn around and say, you know what, ownership of precious metals not happening. But yeah, we'll have to. I mean, do you think that they would even do that from that perspective? I mean, you still get precious metals in your change there. You might just be lucky. Hey, we're up to double figures. Thanks very much for watching, everybody. Always an absolute pleasure. Right. Okay. So right, we're going to take a look at the Bitcoin chart. There we go. RPM says Bitcoin slow, expensive, traceable. I'd rather Bitcoin Cash. Interesting. That's what they say. Russia for summer. Russia for summer. Then that's Jody. Right. Bitcoin. Let's have a look. Yeah. Okay. So $7,086 per token of Bitcoin. This is where we've retraced to. So currently, it looks like this line is holding support. This is a line here I've had in the charts for a while now, and I've just constantly extended it through. So this was 25th September. Right, there's our resistance line that we can see in place, and pretty much that's bang on, because what we can see here, looking at the charts there, so we've had our slump. There's our moving averages that are going to slowly start to work their way down. There's our resistance zone, because we've got old resistance that becomes new support. So we've got support at that line there, and we've got resistance at this line here. So that is pretty much bang on where resistance is. Again, if there's not enough momentum for Bitcoin to break out, and looking at the volume here, guys, I mean, those are the spikes that we've had, and they've resulted in nothing. So we've had these huge spikes here. This big spike here, I think, was totally uncalled for in relation to where the market saw itself here. There just wasn't enough momentum here. I'd say a lot of people made money just on this move alone. If I'd managed to get in, obviously, if I was watching Bitcoin at that particular time and get in this level, what's that, 7,300, and sell at 10.5, man, I'll be smiling all the way to the bank. Because there was nothing in this chart to indicate this sort of movement up. Everything was pointing to a movement down, which is exactly what's happened here. And we're starting to fall into this wedge over here. So again, we've just been hitting a downward slope on a regular basis. Now we've technically reversed this big move here. If you have a look here, that is where, 11th of May. Do we see a support zone in this area? Well, that's our resistance zone, and this is where our support currently is at the moment. Is that sustainable? Maybe. Looking at it here, to me, it looks quite weak. That's at this level. 6.5 will put us into this area here, which is that is pretty solid resistance, which is old resistance that becomes new support. So looking at this area here, this looks like very good support at that level. So we can't discount that. So at 6.5, that is pretty solid at 6.5. Whether that means, a lot of people are calling 6.5 the bottom, I don't know. I think there's still more in it, personally. If we see a reversal and a decline from this point, and the 6.5 support zone fails, then more than likely we're going to be headed down to sub 6,000, maybe even 5/8 in that sort of area there, which would put us in line with this area. Where does that put us? And that pretty much, look at that, that pretty much puts us at these areas here. So that will create the next support zone, which is about 5/8 if that zone fails. I'd love to see 5/8 personally. I'm just loving this right now, guys. To me, I just see this as buying opportunities coming in to play. I'm really looking forward to this complete reverse move. Get in, back into the market nice and early, and just watch the profits go up on the next ride. Jody says, remember when Bitcoin was 14K only a few months ago? Yeah, I certainly do. I was watching the charts then. Silver Limey, I'm happy you got in on a Una coin. I know, I'm very happy myself, guys. There's the launch of the Una and the Lion coin by the Royal Mint. I managed to bag one, so super chuffed with that. If you love Bitcoin, I sincerely hope you're ready for the minor meltdown after the halving. No, trust me, it's the halving for me is, it's going to be, this is great. I'm just going to watch it, and I'll stand back and watch. PM says minor meltdown. Star. US debt clock is that accurate? That is KD Scraper. How you doing, man? When is it going to pop? The stock market is a joke. You're right, the stock market is a joke. I don't buy stocks. Yes, US debt clock is based on available data. Multiply it by 1 billion. There you go. I suppose it's the same thing with I think what someone said to me, the debt clock puts silver at like $1,000 an ounce. If I'm not mistaken, although I'd certainly like to find out how much an ounce of gold is based on the US debt clock. Let's take a look at the 4-hour, everybody. 4-hour for Bitcoin looks terrible. The reason why I say that is we're actually above that level. We're now falling below it. That to me is not good. Ding, ding, ding. Look at that. We're actually below that 20 moving average line, and that is now resistance rather than support. So we could see ourselves trading between the 7.1 and the 6.5 area temporarily. So you can see our volume there. It's peaked in this area, and it's fallen flat again. It's going to be interesting to see how this all pans out. Again, there's that. I don't know if majority of the buyers are waiting for Bitcoin to collapse so that they can get in and then enjoy the next ride. It certainly is going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to getting back in. Hopefully I'll time it right when I can. Yeah, Bitcoin at the moment on the 4-hour not looking great. So I'll have to see how that ends. I'm not going to do a weekly chart yet. We'll do that at the end of the week. Back on the daily. Just going to cross this one out. There it is. So Jody says the biggest risk I see is the ECB. Europe is skint and has no GDP growth there, and they're about to lose a very big partner in the coming months too. So that'll be the UK out of the European zone, and I don't know if maybe that's the reason why they're playing hardball and they're trying to put a bit of pressure on the UK government. But personally, they'll be losing them one way or another. Let's have a look. RPM Luminous says ECB, Christine Lagarde. That's right. She recommended Ripple. She's spoken to Brad. Was it Brad Garlinghouse? Did anyone see there was an interview with Brad Garlinghouse, who's the CEO of Ripple, on one of the channels there, and the lady introduced him as Brad. His surname was totally different to Garlinghouse. It was actually hilarious because I think he even smiled when the lady introduced him to the show. It was hilarious. He put a smile on, but fair play to him. He just carried on. Jody says a convicted criminal running on a central bank. Crazy. Convicted criminal. Christine Lagarde. Do you honestly think bankers are honest people, Jody? And I'm not talking to the guys, the bank managers and stuff like that who work in the bank, the bank owners. Does anyone trust banks? Currently, they're just it's something to be used and something that we need. I suppose that's one thing that cryptocurrency doesn't need. It doesn't need a middleman. It's all peer-to-peer, so transfers between people. That to me, privacy as well. I think those are the things that are going to be worth money. I think DV Stupid put it up that way. The privacy is the way to go. Jody says it's all a Ponzi. There we go. Absolutely. Likewise, the precious metals. There's your privacy right there. Buy an ounce of gold or buy an ounce of silver. That's privacy right in your hand. You use that as a medium of exchange. ECB, RPM Limited says ECB and XRP are closer than your phone. That's pretty close then, I suppose, RPM. All right, guys, let's take a look at a few things here. Very close. And that's to RPM Limited. Right. I've got to do a couple of videos after this. So again, thanks for watching, everybody. I need to do a. I'm gonna have to do that giveaway soon. So definitely watch out for that. Thanks for watching. Really fantastic having you. Always an absolute pleasure as usual. Man, you guys are brilliant. We got Jody, RPM Limited, just to name a few here. We've got KD Scrapper says obviously US debt clock is accurate. Mark B, man, Mark, I missed you there, buddy. Silver Limey, I'm happy you got in. I'm sorry, I think I did mention that actually. Apologies. Mark B. We got Mudswat. Silver Junkie. Aussie Alchemist. And finally, one more. Blended Whiskey. Jody says, MoneyGram now use XRP for instant transfers. Yeah, that's right. So I remember seeing that. They bought a stake in MoneyGram, I believe. I think $20 million, if I'm not mistaken. I think they're investing a little bit more now. Take a look at the United States dollar by JFK. Excellent. SL79 later, everyone. Cheers, guys. For up on close to our usual 1 hour. Don't forget to keep an eye on the precious metals movements. I'd say on Friday it'd be interesting to see what happens when we talk again. Obviously, I'll keep you guys updated in the community posts, so make sure your notification bells are set. You know, I'll always keep you guys updated in regards to any precious metals movement. Keep a watch out for my videos. I'll be doing a couple shortly as well. It'll be great. Can't wait to do this unboxing. So let's take a look, guys. As usual, fantastic. Have a great evening. And morning. There we go. I think that puts it short. Guys, don't forget to hit the like button. And again, thank you for watching this video after the fact. Always an absolute pleasure. I stream Tuesdays and Fridays, and I include content in between. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all in the next one.